Alright, so I said I would start making videos again once I got a haircut, so here I am. I feel like the support meta has shaken up a bit since the first tier list I made. I felt the need to update it to give you guys the best idea of what is good to play right now. So without further ado, here is the updated tier list for patch 11.2. So a big story for season 11 has been the rise of the item combo Moonstone Renewer and Staff of Flowing Water. So Staff of Flowing Water scales up to 420% cost efficiency when buffing up 5 members with movement speed and AP. And Moonstone Renewer helps to constantly refresh the buff on low team members. Champions that can run this combo well will eventually outscale the playmaking supports that topped the tier list before. So to start, I'm going to talk about the #1 abuser of this combo, which is Seraphine. So Seraphine, in my opinion, is the most well-rounded support in the game right now. She has a strong laning phase with her long-range poke and spells and autos, as well as good survivability with her empowered W shield blocking the majority of the damage from all ins. Her new rune setup, which involves taking Guardian, Shield Bash, Bone Plating, Revitalize, makes her incredibly difficult to punish and allows her to scale seamlessly into the mid game. Once she gets Moonstone and Staff, she can just group with her teammates and press W to boost all of her allies instantly, making the team fights almost impossible to lose. On top of that, her playmaking is the best out of all enchanters, with her ult comboed with her E, leading to a really long lockdown. The next champ I'm going to talk about is Rell. So Rell received a bug fix where her E wasn't properly giving extra resist to the champ she had binded. After this bug fix, her win rate actually soared from 48 to 52%. Rell is a really good pick in specific situations. For example, she does well against take matchups because she steals their resist with her autos and transfers them to her AD. When paired with an aggressive lane AD, she has insane kill pressure with both mounted and unmounted W in conjunction with her flash or hex flash. In teamfights, Rell excels in both creating engages with her flash WRE combo, or she can also play to disrupt the divers on her backline. She does get kited pretty easily, so I think Rell is best played when you're against low range compositions. One of the biggest changes in patch 11.2 was to Sena. She got big buffs to her non-kill wraith drop chance and some small buffs to her stats and ratios, bumping her win rate from 46% all the way up to 50%. Another change in her favor has been the price reduction of Umbral Glyph from 2800 to 2600, giving her a good item to rush that isn't equipped, which is super expensive, bad build path for support since it has Vamp Scepter. I expect to see Sena excel in the fasting strategy with the support farming, since Sena support has a hard time fitting into most team compositions. But I think as solo queue, she will still be a decent pick. She has strong lane with her auto and Q, and has good utility with her heals and stealth, and scales extremely well, gaining extra range over time and doing well with items. I'm going to briefly go over the smaller changes of 11.2 now and some of the changes in champ placements on the tier list. So Maokai received a 20 increase in mana cost on his sapling at max rank. I think this is definitely a noticeable nerf. But I think Maokai will still be good, and I do find myself going out of mana a lot more often in the mid game when I'm setting up for objectives. I initially had Maokai between S and A, but I think this nerf is enough to slightly downgrade him. Next up is Soraka. So Soraka got a really small buff to her Q, healing her by an extra 20 at max rank. I personally think this is pretty negligible, as Soraka doesn't really max Q until level 13. Her W actually got a decent buff with 10 base healing increase at rank 1, but I don't think this compensates for the fact that everyone is building heal cut in the early game, or early on in the game. Soraka used to be a strong lane bully, but ever since her cooldown on Q got nerfed, she doesn't really generate that much pressure in lane. So for that reason, I would even rate Sona higher, because I think she has a stronger lane in CC and can proc Staff of Flowing Water more easily on all allies with her W. Next up is the change to Shurelya's. Shurelya's now gives more AP and mana regen in exchange for 150 less health. I actually think this is a nerf because now Shurelya's is harder to build on frontline engagers, and I don't really see myself building Shurelya's often on enchanters when Moonstone is so good. So on frontliners, I would definitely recommend lock it now. Lastly, I want to go over the big drop in Pantheon's tier from S to B without very many changes to him, if at all. I just think a lot of the meta supports right now are not too easy to get 2v2 kills on for him, and he kind of relies on snowballing lane to create pressure on the map. He also gets outscaled very quickly by the Moonstone support, so there's a lot of pressure on Pantheon to close out the game early. He also kind of struggles to kill off the carries now that they have defensive options like Gale Force and Shield Bow. The silver lining for Pantheon is that his itemization is slightly better now with the Umbral Rush as opposed to Eclipse, similar to Sena. I hope this updated tier list will help you continue to get the LP you deserve. There's a long season ahead of us, so take care of yourselves on the grind. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.